You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Morning, ladies. How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Welcome to Monday, y'all. I know it's the beginning of the week, but just think positive, stay prayed up, and most importantly, just continue to keep trusting in God and trusting that He will continue to make a way out of no way. So, nevertheless, y'all, thought it was imperative that we discussed a few things pertaining to love and marriage in Huntsville. First off, I definitely want to thank everybody who came into the community chat and stop by and y'all leave kind words and you always responded to my posts and everything. And I definitely appreciate the fact that everyone has been supporting me with the No Martell Mammy Zone t-shirts. I did get a couple of orders, so ladies, you would definitely be getting your orders very soon. I sent y'all the tracking number so that way you can keep up when your order will actually arrive and you're not sitting out there in the dark. But call it petty, call it what you want to call it, but I am just so tired of people caping for Martell, especially women. Now I understand men because they perceive things different from us, and men, unfortunately, they don't carry emotions like we carry emotions. So when it comes to Martell's actions, you have a few men that aren't proud of it, but for the most part, most men can overlook things that Martell does. But as a woman, I find it very disheartening when I see women in the it's not just on YouTube, it's women everywhere in social media. They're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram caping for Martell. The thirst is just real. It's just too much mammy thirst going on, and it just goes to show you it's a lot of women out there who think like Ariane, Air Mattress. They look at the outside package, and a man doesn't have to offer much of anything but his good wood and his good looks. And it's very sad, but this is the reason why a lot of us as women, we don't get the respect that we deserve, because we acknowledge these type of men, we praise these type of men, and we lust after these type of men. And it's unfortunate that you have a lot of women out here, and I know all of us at some point or another have experienced heartbreaks, have experienced disappointment, have experienced a man not really being dedicated to his children. We have experienced some type of situation in which we should be able to relate to what male has gone through. And it just amazes me that you have some women out here that are so thirsty that they're still going to keep lifting a man up regardless of how disrespectful he is, as long as he looks good. He's just a trophy dude. A trophy dude is a guy that just looks good, like a trophy looks good on the shelf, but he doesn't have any other purpose but looks good. Because if you think about it, that's all a trophy does. A trophy just looks good. And that's all Martell could provide. But you have some women, that's how Ariane got caught up. That's how Sheree got caught up. You have a lot of women, they will specifically deal with a man based on how he looks, because I can't see what Martell has to offer. And he may not even be that great in bed, but if you're a woman that's not experienced and you have not been made love to correctly, it does not take much for any man to enter into your body and it feels good to you. If you're not used to real love, if you're not used to a man being intimate with you versus having sex with you, you won't see the difference. All good wood is not good wood, and I'll just put that out there. Just because a man can make you climax, that does not necessarily means he's good at what he does. If a man makes you feel empty inside after y'all have had y'all sexcapade, then he's really not as good as you think he is, because sex is not just a sexual act. It's more than just a man entered inside your body. It's how that man makes you feel after he has entered your body, how he makes you feel as a woman in general. That's how you know the difference. And it's sad, but so many women out here been touched by so many men, they don't know the difference between good touch and bad touch. All they know touch is a touch. And you got some women, their self-esteem is so low, they wouldn't be touched by anybody. They don't care as long as they're being touched, because in their mind that makes them feel worthy. But nevertheless, let me get into what I really want to talk about. I've been over it. Matter of fact, I've been so over it. I have not watched Love and Marriage in Huntsville, I would say, since the exposure of Ariane air mattress, since the divorce. One of those two, whichever came first. I lost touch with the show since then. I lost touch because I see too much glory out of individuals within this cast that have been gunning for male and coming for male, and I'm just totally turned off. I have just been so turned off. That's why I really can't address too much currently about what's going on with the show, because I don't watch it. Now, you have some people, some viewers every once in a while, they'll black out when the heat gets turned up, when certain cast members get too out of control or outrate on the show. They'll go through this blackout phase. Well, let me tell y'all something. Not only I blacked out, I checked out. And I walked out of Love and Marriage in Huntsville years ago. I'm not just tired. I'm tired. I'm not T-I-R-E-D. I am T-I-E-D. I'm tired. I'm good and tired of watching everybody on this show with these dry ass storylines, and most of their storylines revolve around attacking male, talking about male, saying something about male, while they hide their own personal issues and just make gunning for male, that's their storyline. And the fact that Carlos King and the production, the whole production staff, they just they allow it. They allow people to be sacred about their own personal issues and make male the topic of discussion. And it's very frustrating as a fan and a viewer of the show to keep watching a train wreck. Now, I do know that Mel is co-producer, executive producer, however, whatever position she has. But I cannot and will not continue to keep seeing my sister get dragged and mistreated. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. I've been over it. I'm so over it. That's why I made those t-shirts. No Martell Mammy Zone. I'm just over it. I'm tired of it. It's too much, because realize, as viewers, we get emotionally invested into these type of shows. I remember from day one seeing how all of these couples seem like black entrepreneurs that was actually actually had a significant purpose in Huntsville. The show started off as inspiring black love, that you can have a, the way it originally was, you can have a marriage and be successful. You can have a family and be successful. And then over time, like a lot of these reality shows, people's skeletons start coming out the closet. And sometimes the very thing you love about these individuals end up being the very same thing you hate. You know, like a lot of us, for instance, like with the Atlanta Housewives of Atlanta, and this is not to digress, but all of us used to love NeNe for being that it, let you have it, let me bring it to you, put it straight to your face. We used to love that about NeNe. After a while, we hated it. Once she realized how much we loved her for being that, I will check you, you know, that was the very thing that ended up turning us off about NeNe. NeNe had gotten on a celebrity A+ high and started smelling herself, started treating all the ladies like garbage. She couldn't maintain not one solid friendship on that show. Fell out with Cynthia. Fell out with Kim. Her and Kim was like that. Start off. Fell out with Candy. Fell out with Phaedra. I mean, okay, we love the mean girl thing, but after a while we end up hating it, because what a lot of these reality show people don't understand is, as you get older, so does your audience. And over time, we expect to see some maturity. Now, lately, and I don't know, maybe because NeNe is off the show, but one or two pop-ups she's been doing here and there, seems to me she's matured just a little bit. Don't seem like she's that snappy crab in the barrel bitch. Excuse my French. You get what I'm saying? But maybe that's because she's not on the show anymore. And something about those cameras, when those cameras are in your face, you immediately feel like you have to perform. You feel like you got to go back into being that mean girl mode that gave you your fame, that gave you your notoriety. Something about those cameras. You become addicted to cameras. You become a robot to the cameras. Why you think when doggone when Solange, Beyonce's sister, slapped the hell out of Jay-Z in that elevator, they came out as soon as they saw them cameras, their game face was on. Now Solange, her game face wasn't on that strong, and Jay-Z, you can tell, you know, he looked at like somebody just took his childhood, because his hand was to his face. He was still feeling that slap. He felt that slap 10 minutes later, even walking out the building. And of course, who was smiling? Who was smiling like nothing never happened? Beyonce. Beyonce is a perfect example of being a robot for the camera. No matter how taut from the floor up shit is, she knows as soon as that camera and them lights, camera, action, she knows to go into focus. She knows not to let nobody see her break or sweat. And same thing with NeNe. You know, something about these reality shows, cameras just changes people's personality. People get especially people who aren't used to attention, who aren't used to, you know, being popular. When they run into instant fame, you know, instant notoriety, it just does something to their ego. And I just think that's what happened really with the Love and Marriage in Huntsville. Once these individuals, you know, in exception to Mel, and I know Mel is not perfect. I'm sure we've seen her change in ways in which we wasn't used to seeing Mel for what she was also. All of them have changed. But what I will say is, it's just so obvious that the new storyline is attack Mel, and we're not for it. We're not for it. Carlos does not seem to be interested in changing the dynamics. He's so fanboy Martell. That doesn't sit well with me. It looks very sugary suspect. And because he's always allegedly, let me say that, disclaimer, everything I am saying is alleged. This is just based on my opinion. I have no valid facts about any of these individuals, but this is simply based on my opinion for education and entertainment purposes only. So, put that in your check and cash it before we proceed. For Martell Mammy get mad and want to report my video. So anyway, every season is becoming like a plane crash. It keeps going down and down and down. And how some of y'all are still watching it. Well, somebody has to watch it and see what's going on. And I'm glad other people are watching it to keep me informed, like 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. The ladies do an awesome job at giving great analysis. Black Titanic, Chit Chat, it's a lot of them. So I'm not knocking the ladies who do watch it, because I get that they're doing that to keep up with the subscribers such as myself who don't watch it. So I'm not gonna knock people who still watch it. But me personally, I just could not take it. I could not take it. And this is my stance on where I am with this whole Love and Marriage in Huntsville. It's just time for it to be done. I think they ran a good run. It's just over. It's just really over at this point. There's nothing refreshing enough to keep the show going. It's like to me, the show is on life support. The show is on life support, and they keep trying to resuscitate it with these stale storylines. It's forced. Nobody's not really talking about anything to keep the audience interest. The storylines they're doing is dry, and it seems like the only way people can find relevance or keep a spot, attack male or talk about male. Nobody wants to talk about their business. Nobody wants to talk about, like, Stormy. She doesn't want to address that. That would have been a perfect time for her, even if she was going to lie, to use the show as an advantage into making people believe why they weren't getting their items, where, I'm getting ready to branch off and do bigger projects, so this is the reason why I've been delayed. I mean, you won't let us into the warehouse to see people actually working on it, working on the products, boxing the products up and shipping them off. At least fake it and make it like you give a damn. It's just her. I think her business plummeted because we see you on the show, you and your mama making time to go after mail and talk about mail, but you're not saying anything about your business, your product. That's what you should have been doing, because your product is your money maker, not attacking mail on the show. That's not your money maker. If anything, it made people devalue you as a businesswoman, because we're not seeing you conduct business. We're seeing you constantly come for mail, and your mom come for mail, and seeing how, and hearing the way Stormy's mother just kept being on pit bull mode with Mel, no matter how humble Mel was, and kept her composure. She kept turning up to 1,000, although Mel was keeping it at 100. This just goes to show too many people getting their rocks off on coming for Mel. Mel is already going through a lot with a marriage, a lot with Martell, the custody battle, and it just amazes me how all of these black women on the show act like they never been there. A Stormy mom can't tell me she's never, as old as she is and up in her age, I know she has gone through with men. So instead of these older women like Wanda and Stormy's mom being like a mother figure, in a sense, inspiring these black women, saying, look, we've been there, we've done that, this is how you continue to grow, you continue to be successful. You got these older black women that should be saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, should be on somebody or usher board, should be passing out fans to people entering the church congregation. They're up here sitting with their daughters at a tea event, being messy. Same thing like Tisha's mother. Tissue's mother, same thing, coming around being messy. not coming around trying to install any wisdom, knowledge, or understanding. When you get a certain age as a woman, you're supposed to be inspiring, not intimidating black women. And these grown women who allow their mothers to come in and help assist in bullying, throwing jabs, when I've never seen Mel's mother come on the show. And Mel's mother very well could have been that type of female. After all, her daughter been that type of woman. After all of everything her daughter has gone through, she could have very well had that same attitude. But because she is a woman of grace, she doesn't carry herself like Wanda and Stormy's mom, you know, or Martell's mom for that matter. And again, all of this is not a good look on Carlos King, because y'all are intentionally bringing nothing but bad seeds, and those bad seeds are the Martell curse. And we're going to get into some scriptures very shortly. I want to talk about this Martell curse. The Martell curse is more simple than what we think it is. It just means everybody is out on the prowl to attack and drag Mel. Why? Because Mel is successful and Mel is strong. And keep in mind, when you are a strong person, that is when the enemy starts recruiting even more individuals to come together to try to devour you. It's like being a helpless. It's like being a helpless kitten, locked up in the cage with a bunch of pit bulls. What you think is going to happen? You're going to get attacked. You're going to get mauled. You're going to get devoured. You're going to be destroyed. And the thing about it is, you have Carlos, you have the production crew. They are intentionally setting people up to attack Mel, like bringing Martell to Melody's daughter's birthday party. The crew knew better. The production crew knew better, and so did Martell. But y'all allowed it because y'all trying to resuscitate a dead show. And you know what? This is the problem. The show is basically on life support, and that's why Carlos is reaching. That is why Martell is reaching. A lot of them are reaching, trying to keep a spotlight except Mel. Mel doesn't have to do the reaching because she has other projects going on. In fact, it got so bad, Carlos had to make the cast. He had to force fake them to get along, and we all knew that's not authentic. We know they really don't like Mel. They don't care for Mel. So at this point, when you have to start forcing people to get along, the show is not authentic. It means it's over. I'm just ready for them to pull the plug. The show is over. And I get Melanie, you know, she's been trying to get people to still support the show, watch it, you know, and Mel, we love you. But it's people out here like myself, we can't do it. We cannot stand to sit here and watch people bully you, attack you, and you have to keep being a cordial and humble one. Because at the end of the day, you are a human being. You can only take but so much. It's but so much keeping a smile on your face and acting like I'm this virtuous woman of God. I can take whatever's thrown at me. It comes a point where people snap because you don't allow it to build up, and build up, and that I don't want. Because Mel has more to lose than any of them on that show. We know these couples, Marcel, Tisha, Maurice, Kimmy. You know, I don't have too much issues with Kimmy, but the rest of this cast is done for. If you remove Mel, nobody would have the show is done. Unless people start being transparent about what's really going on. If Marcel and Tisha be transparent about what's going on with their business, about the lawsuits they're up against, then maybe the views will start peaking up. If they start being more transparent and more open about their marital issues, but Carlos is giving them the pass to shares what they want to share, and to me that kills the purpose of having a reality show. Think about it. If a person can pick and choose what they want to discuss and not discuss, it defeats the purpose. It's not a reality show. You're not showing us your reality. Because you're cherry picking. You're picking, oh, well, I will let them know this, but I don't want them knowing that. You're hiding all your troubles and your legal issues, which would actually make the show more interesting. We want to see y'all, talking about in real talk, not the talk where you're gonna lie and deflect and justify. Yeah, we believe we messed up. We took on a deal. We took on this building knowing we really didn't have all of what we needed to take on this project, and we may have to pay some of this money back. It is just phony. It's not reality wise. And same thing with Martell. I've just never seen, this show has so many twists and turns that it is just garbage. How Martell, I never heard this, how he was able to go on Atlanta Housewives when he was already part of Love and Match in Huntsville. A lot of shows used to be strict about stuff like that. You could not cross over and get on somebody else's reality show while you were already casted to another reality show. How this man gets that privilege to cross over like that, it's bananas to me. It's bananas to me. And how Sheree was able to have a part or two. It's not supposed to go like that. A lot of reality shows back then, they would tell you, you cannot be on this show if you're already contracted to that show. That just goes to show you, that's how much life the show has lost. To the point people got to cross over and get recognition being on another reality show and still get to stay on their reality show. That a lot of rules are being broken, y'all. None of that was allowed. They would tell you, even if you're casted for 2 movies at the same time, a lot of those contracts are very strict and stern. You can't be over here, but then you got another project going on over there. Like the show called The Game with Melanie and Duran and Tasha and all of them. The guy who played as Duran, he had to come off that show because he was getting ready to branch off and do his own show. And the movie told him, we can't have you doing that and then you over here. It kind of taints, what the show was trying to do. The show needs your full attention. So you had to make a choice. And of course, you go where the money is. The Game wasn't willing to pay what the other show was paying. Now, his popularity wasn't as strong on the other show because we ain't heard much about him. We've seen him in some movies here and there. But nevertheless, it's a lot of rules that are being broken. And which brings me to my boy Carlos, the Queen. The Queen, King, whatever you want to call him. As I was getting ready to state, Carlos does not have good intentions. I don't know what his intentions are, but I don't feel like they are good. Proverbs chapter 16 verses 28 through 30. A dishonest man spreads strife, and a whisperer separates close friends. A man of violence entices his neighbor and leads him in a way that is not good. Whoever winks his eyes plans dishonest things. He who purses his lips brings evil to pass. Carlos is allowing strife to spread. He's one of those throw the rock, hide the hands, because I have a problem with the fact that he is so close to one of the most malicious cast members on the show. And to me, like I said, there's too many rules being broken, y'all. How many times can we say when you saw Love and Hip Hop, you saw the host of that show hanging out with Jocelyn, Stevie J, whatever. You never seen the host hanging out buddy and doing apology tours or doing validation tours with one of the cast members. When we used to watch Flavor of Love, I never saw Lala, who was hosting the show. I think 1 or 2 seasons. I never saw her hanging out with any of the girls from the season. It's a lot of rules being broken. You rarely see even basketball wives, the different people they had hosting the show. You've never seen any of those ladies hanging out with that particular host. There's a lot of rules that are being broken. And that's why I stated Love and Marriage in Huntsville has went from sugar to shit. Because they doing a lot of messy things that are not adding up. How is it you're able to get rid of one drama queen bully like Wanda, and yet you was able to replace her with Stormy's mother, who's doing the same exact thing? There's no rules, there's no regulations. Who's the hell is really running this? And like I told y'all, and I'll say this again if you didn't catch my last live where I talked about Carlos, some of these individuals, these baristas, and what I mean by barista, they're supposed to be like, they're still a brother because they still like a man, they still have their genital parts, they're still a man by nature, but they're also a sister because they're supposed to relate to, they're supposed to be basically relating their lifestyle to being a woman, carrying themselves as a female, rather by dressing like one, rather than talking like one. They're basically are playing the role of being a female. So that's why I call these rainbow colored individuals, I call them baristas. Meaning you're supposed to be a man, but you're still supposed to have the best interest for the women. Because you're supposed to be, supposedly, claiming yourself to be a woman. I mentioned before that a lot of these baristas, they low-key, undercoverly despise women. They despise the very thing they want to become. They despise the very thing they wish they was. And when you really can't be what, you really can't really fully transition yourself into being a woman, sometimes you learn to build a certain amount of hostility towards women. Because at the end of the day, you really can't compete with a real woman. You are not that. I will say this respectfully. I have no problem with those who want to be that way, who are totally happy being that way. Be happy being you. Enjoy it. Listen, I had a barista or two that I was friends with. We didn't leave on bad terms. They moved on. You know, they moved into other states to do big and better things with their lives. So I don't have a problem with people who choose to be in that lifestyle. My problem is, what is your motives for being in that lifestyle? Are you intentionally being that way so you can help men continue to be disrespectful towards women because you undercoverly got a strong disliking for women? So maybe you get a rise out of seeing a man go at maliciously dragging a woman, because maybe that's some low-key pleasure you get out of that because you really don't care for women. Some of these baristas, they just tolerate us for the sake of being able to benefit from us. They tolerate us to get money. They tolerate us to get certain positions or certain notoriety. And I would not be surprised if the queen, Carlos himself, is low-key co-signing with Martell shenanigans so he can help to destroy Mel, but he wants to do it from a slick distance where it don't look like he has anything to do with it. Oh, now I love you can just tell the questions he be asking about constantly about Mel and Martell getting back together. Mel has stressed 1,000 times she does not want to be with Martell, and you steadily keep bringing up that question. You're low-key bullying, and you're low-key being messy. And I really feel like it's because you really don't care for us like that. And that's why and I'm sure other women are catching on, that's why there's this petition going on, y'all. Make sure y'all go to change.org if you have not been signing the petition. They still have a petition floating about getting rid of Martell. And then they also had a second one going around saying they need to eliminate Carlos and Martell. I say sign both of them. This show totally takes away from the purpose. There is no love and there is no marriage in Huntsville, because the ones who still got a marriage, they're low-key hiding shit that's going on in their household. They just want to keep talking about Mel and Martell's problems. I'm tired of Maurice and Marceau wanting to address Martell about what him and Mel got going. Don't y'all have y'all own problems? Why is Mel and Martell y'all only storyline? I really feel like if Martell was out the way and Carlos Queen was out the way, and there was someone else who came in and totally changed the dynamics of the show, they would make Maurice and Marceau have to be way more transparent about their problems. And if they remove Mel, and Mel just works from the background, once you get rid of the competition, now y'all got to deal with the real issues at hand. I really feel like if Mel was not in the equation, they would have to talk about something different. But then again, as long as the Queen is running the show, they'll still talk about Mel even though she ain't there. It's just old. And it's lame at this point. It's lame. It's not keeping a lot of people's attention. Listen, Carlos them should know. Look at the numbers. The numbers tell it all. Nobody's not feeling the show. No one's not checking for the show. Because the storylines are stale like day old crackers. Listen, when you keep doing the same thing, beating the same dead horse, you start losing interest. Like Flavor of Love. Yeah, it was popping the first 2 seasons. That 3rd season, people was pretty much over it. You keep picking women and you ain't choosing them, which we found out all that was a gimmick. He already was in a relationship, but that's another story. Certain shows, a lot of reality shows, believe it or not, are losing their flavor. Like Housewives of Atlanta is losing their flavor. Basketball Wives, a lot of them are losing their flavor because what it is, it has become more of a franchise instead of authentic. People get stuck in a role and they stay in it. You get known as the mean girl, you stay in it. You don't grow older with your audience. You was a mean girl when you was in your 30s starting out on the show. And now here it is, you're damn near your 50s and you still that same mean girl. Is just overrated. It's not funny anymore. It's not entertaining anymore. Your audience is older now. That was cute to us when we was in our 30s. Half of us pushing our middle 40s now. We not feeling it. You have to learn to change with the times. So, Proverbs chapter 6, 12 through 19. A worthless person, a wicked man, goes about with crooked speech, winks with his eyes, signals with his feet, points with his finger, with perverted heart devises evil, continually sowing discord. Therefore calamity will come upon him suddenly, and a moment he will be broken beyond healing. Carlos better be very mindful, because he's sitting back and allowing the enemy to have his way. And when you participate with the enemy in their dirt, guess what? When they go down, you go down. When they get buried in the dirt, you're going to get buried right along with them. Carlos already was evicted from Bravo. And instead of you coming over here using this as an opportunity to clean things up, with the love, clean your image up with the love and marriage of Huntsville, you actually making it worse. After this, I can't see anybody taking him serious. The only thing he could possibly do after this is probably have his own personal podcast and do like little celebrity gossip or something like that, be a blogger. Carlos does not have that personality that's fit to host a show. Now, he started off authentic. In the beginning, he was balanced. Somewhere along the way, that Martell cancer has started spreading throughout that cast. And the Martell cancer is causing people to bully male, attack male, come for male. And you have to realize there's a lot of spiritual warfare going on. So a lot of times while you think you're encountering people who don't like you, it is the spirit that they carry that does not like you. And guess what? A demon recognizes when they are up against the spirit. And what ends up happening is a demon cannot work by himself. He has to recruit other demons. The stronger your spirit, the stronger the enemy has to come to attack you. And that is what's going on with Mel. She has such a strong spiritual presence of God armoring her. And here it is, you have all of these termites, these demonic termites that are trying to bite at her, attack her, harm her. And I really think at this point, I really want Melanie to just move on. I want her to move on and do her own thing. I want her to move on. I'm ready to see Melanie do bigger and better things. I feel like at this point, Mel has made her mark. She does not need the show anymore. She does not need the show anymore. The show needs her, and that's why they keep coming for her. They keep bothering her because of the spirit she carries. The way Stormy Mother was carrying on. And listen, let me tell you something. When people don't like you, it don't matter how humble you are. No matter how humble Mel was, Stormy's mother still kept trying to turn up the volume. It's like she wanted a fight. And my thing is, you could only be but so strong. They keep trying Mel and trying Mel and trying Mel and trying her. I don't want her to lose herself by constantly trying to humble herself to these pythons, these snakes. It's too many of them. There's too many snakes in the pit. And you're not going to be able to tame all of these snakes. I don't care how humble you are. I don't care how you try to communicate. She not at the tea party so they can air out their issues. These people don't want to air out issues. They want to fight. They want drama. They want to keep kicking Mel down to keep a storyline to stay relevant. They want to talk about everything Mel got going on, but they don't want to talk about none of the stuff they got going on. And that's the part that's very frustrating about it. Just seeing everybody, on attack mode with Mel. It's that Martell cancer that keeps spreading. And at this point, hell, even if you was to bring somebody else in, this cast is just done. Because I feel like even if they was to bring a new personality, a new person in, they somehow, some way gonna find a way not to like Melanie either. The cast is just done for. Why are we still resuscitating? Why are we still breathing life into this cast, into this show? It's just over. It's over. It's over. It's over. And y'all, if y'all don't think it's not over, keep watching those numbers. Those numbers are going to keep declining. The Queen, he can't tell the numbers are declining, and he's making it worse by doing campaigns, sympathy campaigning with Martell. You're supposed to be biased. Why are you hanging out so deep with one of the cast members? You don't hang out with Tisha and Marceau like that. You don't hang out with Maurice and Kimmy like that. What is going on? You're not making yourself look good, Carlos. You looking real shady out here in these streets. And Martell, he may not be sugary, but I believe he'll capitalize off of anybody. If he knows Carlos likes him like that, and he knows he's not that way, he'll use Carlos just because he know Carlos is into him like that. That's the kind of dude Martell is. We definitely know he loves the punani because he's been in plenty of it. So he might not be that way, but if Carlos knows he could get a sucker to campaign for him, he'll use anybody. If he got to pretend to like Carlos his damn self just to get Carlos to keep caping for him, he'll do that. Martell strike me as the type of person, he'll sit up there and will lie and make it. Let's say allegedly, if it was that way. Let's say if allegedly Carlos was trying to make a move, and I'm not saying this is a fact, I'm just saying hypothetically, let's say if that was the case. Martell would smile in his face, go out to dinners, do all this little nice stuff to make Carlos think he getting somewhere, and once he done serve his purpose with Carlos, he'll ditch him and leave him right there. And he won't even get a kiss out the deal. Because Martell is a user and a loser. And that's just it. It's the Martell curse going on within that whole cast. Everybody's pretending to fake nice just to keep the show going. We're not interested anymore. Because y'all done showed us y'all just faking it to make it. Tisha still don't really like Mel. Y'all still want to see Mel fail. It's not authentic. Nothing about the show is genuine. Everybody is faking it to make it. The show is long overdue. This needs to be the last season. It was good while it lasted. Because this show is not representing anything positive. What this show was doing, if anything, is promoting everything negative. It's promoting that it's okay to disrespect your wife, disrespect your marriage, have a child on your wife, and you still get promoted. You still, the host of the show is still campaigning with you, caping for you. This gives a lot of people out here the wrong idea about marriage. You got a lot, the black community as a whole is already against marriage. You know, I be in different spaces of YouTube and I listen to men discourage men all the time about marrying. I hear it all the time. And it's got to the point now, even women don't want to marry anymore because they're seeing men like Martell get away with so much disrespect to Mel that it discourages women from wanting to get married because they feel like, hell, if Martell would do that to his own ex-wife, I can imagine how many other black men would do that. And it's not fair to put all the blame on what Martell does and say is, he's the reason nobody wants to get married. But what I'm saying is you cannot promote negativity and don't think that it's not going to affect how people perceive love, how people perceive marriage. I'm reading through the comment sections, listening to women say, this is the reason why I won't get married. Or saying how women like Mel become so strong to not needing a man who disrespects her. Now you got men up here looking at it like, okay, she's not being submissive enough to her husband. She won't forgive and forget. It's just giving people negative. It's giving them negative perception about black love, and that is my problem, because all black marriages do not move like that. They don't operate like that. You do have some men that have messed up in their marriages and did dead wrong, and you don't see them walking around here being proud about it. You see them being humble. They working, paying bills, trying to rebuild their life. You don't have a lot of men who walking around here happy and that they done destroyed their marriage, destroyed their home, and being cocky about it. But watching that show like that, you'll think it's millions of men who move that way. Or that's also teaching men who do that they don't have to take accountability. They see a Martell still be praised and worshiped. You got these Martell mammies having praise and worship service for Martell. He's a good father. He's a good man. Why he was not allowed to come to his child's father? I mean, why he was not allowed to go to his child's birthday party? When it's very well right there, he had the opportunity to do all of what he was supposed to do. And the production crew keeps allowing Martell to lie over and over and over. That's why I really can't tell y'all much about the show other than the stuff I hear. My stomach can't take it. I am tired of people caping for Martell, especially Martell mammies. Going to Timothy, 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verses 23 through 25. Don't have anything to do with foolish and stupid arguments, because you know they produce quarrels. And the Lord's servant must not quarrel. Instead, he must be kind to everyone, able to teach, not resentful. Those who oppose him, he must gently instruct in the hope that God will grant them repentance, leading them to knowledge of the truth. It's time for Mel to put down her torch. She ran a good race. She ran a good marathon. And I strongly believe her blessings are only going to get bigger. And I think that once Mel shuts it down, that whole cast is going to be lost in the sauce. They're going to be lost, honey. They're going to be discombobulated. Marceau, Tisha, because they are boring. Even if they did a spinoff, nobody ain't going to want to see it. Maurice and Kimmy, all respect to Kimmy because I like Kimmy. Nobody's not going to be checking for them like that either. Tiffany and her husband, nobody's not going to check for them like that either. It's just not. Mel makes the show. I believe she's ran her course with it, and I want her to keep her peace of mind. I want her to keep her integrity, because there's no way you can keep being in this type of hostile environment and you still carry yourself in a peaceful manner. Eventually somebody's going to poke the bear. And you got people that are so evil, if they see one thing ain't breaking, you to escalate it. Well, let's do this. Well, let's go for that. Well, let's try that. Then on top of that, you got more than one person on the show that's not liking you. That's too many snakes in one pit. You might could grab one snake. You might could cut the head of one snake off. But when you have several snakes, there's no way you're going to be able to conquer all them snakes at one time. I just strongly believe she's ran her course. She's built her foundation off of that show. Now, the only thing we do know is when Mel decides to pull the plug, there's no telling where his mind, the next level of wickedness, his mind is going to promote him to. Because he's not going to have any money for real. And I don't know if Mel's been married to Martell a long time. So she knows when he really gets broken all the way that he's like a hurricane. He's a tornado. He'll tear up anything. I don't know if she kept the show going just so Martell could keep money in his pockets and he won't keep hounding and harassing her. But sometimes you just got to go on guard. You can't be fearful, because a person gonna do what they really want to do. Whatever's in their heart to do, they're going to do it. You cannot protect yourself but so much. You can pray and ask God for his protection, his armor, of protection, and that's really all you can do. You can't keep allowing the snake to bite you just because you don't want the snake to kill you. That whole show, the whole show need to be thrown away. Throw the whole goddamn show away. It's done. It's a wrap. Though not the pastoral epistles themselves, I'm reminded of Paul's concluding prediction: wherever such a contentious and quarrelsome spirit lives, if you keep on biting and devouring each other, watch out, or you will be destroyed by each other. This is Galatians chapter 5 verses 15. There's too much quarrel within that cast. Too much disrespect, too much conflict, too much unforgiveness. They're going to keep devouring one another, slowly but surely. It's going to continue to get more and more out of hand. I am just ready for the show to end. Like I said, I'm over it. It's toxic. It doesn't represent love. And it definitely doesn't represent no marriage. Where's the love? Okay, we see 1 or 2 couples hanging in there, but we still don't know all of their problems because everybody's making male problems the center of attention. The whole show wants to keep talking to Martell, knowing he loves to talk about everything that Mel is doing wrong. Why every time they sit down and do a scene or have a conversation with Martell, it got to be about Mel and what's going on with their marriage? What about Marceau? Why you won't discuss what's going on with your marriage? And Maurice gives just enough to make you think there's something going on there. But even him and Kimmy, they're holding back some information. The only couple who's been transparent throughout this whole ordeal is Martell and Mel. Carlos, I don't trust him. I feel the lower the ship gets to sinking, the lower the rates get. I believe he will really step out on the limb and do something outlandish. As much as he says he won't bring Ariane on, I can't say for sure he won't. And at this point, I'm skeptical because Ariane been quiet lately, and Carlos has been doing all of these shows, apology shows, empathy, sympathy shows with because nothing apologetic about it, but sympathy, empathy shows with Martell. What the hell are y'all working on? I'm looking at this thing another way. What are y'all trying to do? Y'all disrespecting Mel all this time, and guess what? When it comes to disrespect, there's no limit to disrespect. Some people don't have no limits to disrespect. He's sitting there, Carlos sitting there, the production crew sitting there, giving information to Martell so he could keep up with Mel's whereabouts. I can't say how low y'all won't go. I do not trust Carlos. I do not trust the production team. That's why I want Mel to drop from the show. But the only thing about it, if Mel drops from the show, what I'm wondering is, will I give Carlos free game to bring Ariane on? I'm not sure how that really goes, y'all. If anybody could come in the comment section and comment on that. Unless I don't know how much authority Mel has to, if she were to leave the show, Ariane still would not have access to being casted. I don't know if that's why Mel been staying all this time, so she could continue to be that wall to block certain people from coming on to a certain degree. So maybe she's willing to deal with the bullying just so she doesn't remove herself, and that gives them all free pass to bring Ariane on the show. That's just something to kind of think about, because Mel is very strategic and how she does things. So I'm wondering if she was to leave the show, will that give Carlos access to do more fuckery, because Mel is no longer there to intercede and say, no, I cannot allow this. So I'm wondering if that is an issue. That's something very interesting to think about. But it's long overdue for me, y'all. I really want to see Mel do well. I want her to go branch off and do bigger and better things. Now, if I had it my way, if I could pick and choose, this is what I would like. For one, I want Carlos gone. I want a different host. I want everybody gone. And I want Mel to specifically work in the background and hope to come up with a whole new cast. I think we need a whole new cast. We need more younger, fresher couples from *𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 in Huntsville. I think Mel should do the seeking. She would know who would be the good fit. She needs to do the interviewing. I want to see real authentic couples that got real issues, that's not afraid to share their real issues within their marriage. I want to see a whole fresh new cast, y'all. I want to see a whole new season, a whole new cast. Some younger couples that got similar issues, like what Mel and Martell had. You know, real marital issues, because it's people out here that's going through some real situations in their marriage, and they need to be inspired. They need to be encouraged. They need to know you're not the only one that's going through this. There's other couples who have gone through, who have survived it. I don't like the direction on where the show is going, y'all. I just don't like it. And it's old, it's tiresome, and it's just time for it to end. It's just time for it to end. It's ran its course. This needs to be the last season. The numbers don't lie. The show is dead. Pull the plug and let's bury the show. And meanwhile, let's get the obituaries ready for the Love and Marriage Huntsville show. It's done. It's over. So anyway, y'all, before I get ready to shut it down, please hit that like button right now before you exit. Just hit that little like. I would appreciate that. Not only that, anybody who's interested in ordering my No Martell Mammy Zone shirts, they only come in black and white. With the black shirts, the only difference is the logo is white, the words are white, and the no sounds are still red, so it's just the same thing. It's just on black, and I do have the white that you see in the thumbnail. Cause I'm tired of this foolishness. Make sure y'all sign the change.org, sign those petitions, y'all. May not do anything, may be effective, we don't know, but we got to start from somewhere. Again, I not only blacked out, y'all, I checked out long time ago. I don't keep up with that show like that. I've been tired of it. Once Martell got exposed for having that child on his wife, and they started trying to sneak Ariana in through the phone conversation and stuff in the car, I've been over it. I'm like, nah, they just allowing too much shady shit to just keep going on, and I'm just over it. So anyway, also I do have tumblers if anybody's interested about tumblers, and I do sell cable. 9,000 channels for only $25 a month. Save yourself some money. Start paying satellite dish and all these local cable providers almost $100-$200 for channels, when all you got to do is get good internet and pay $25 a month for 9,000 channels. I have everything. So if you're interested, make sure you email me. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna shut it down. This is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Y'all take care, be blessed, be talking with y'all soon. Bye.
I know